So in this class, we shall discuss about equivalent circuit of induction motor. So we already know that induction motor is nothing but a rotating transformer. It consists of two portions. One is stator portion and another is rotor portion. So this side I am considering stator portion. This side I am considering rotor portion. And this is the stator windings that has got resistance and reactances. And current flowing, I will call it as I1, and input voltage is V1. This is the I0 no load current, and then Im is the magnetizing current, and Ic is the working component current. Okay, and then stator and rotor separated by an air gap. Separated by an air gap. This is the rotor windings. It has got resistances R2 and reactances. Reactances depends on the value of slip. That's why I'm considering S into X2. Rotor is short circuited. This is the rotor side is short circuited. And then EMF induced in the rotor side is, this side is E2R, that is S into E2. Okay, the current flowing in the rotor side is, this is I2R. So therefore, induction motor equivalent circuit is nothing but same as the, similar to the equivalent circuit of transformer. Okay, transformer are already studied. The similar to that, we have a equivalent circuit for induction motor. Only thing is, here instead of primary we have a stator, instead of secondary we have a rotor side is short circuited. Now I will consider only the portion of rotor equivalent circuit. So here I am considering rotor equivalent circuit. So EMF induced in the rotor side is S into E2. The current flowing is I2R. R2 is the resistances, rotor resistances. S into X2 is the rotor reactances. Depend upon the value of S, EMF induced in the rotor side is varying, and then reactance is also varying. Since it is short circuit, this is rotor side is short circuited. Now I will divided this, all the factors by S. When you divide it by S, what you get it? When you divide this, it becomes E2, and then this become, when you divide it, get cancelled, remaining with X2, and then you get R2 by S. So R2 by S, I am considering R2 by S. This is, we are getting R2 by, you divide here by S, then you get here R2 by S, and then you get X2. Since here slip is varying phenomena, no, slip is varying phenomena, that's why I am considering this as variable resistance. Slip is changing means resistance is also going on changes. That's why you get like this. This component can be split into two components. That I will analyze in this circuit diagram. Same E2 and X2. This R2 by S component can be split into two component. One is R2 and then R2 1 minus S by S. When you analyze it, R2 by S can be split into two component, R2 plus R2 into 1 minus S by S. And then if you rearrange it, R2 by S, R2, this one, R2 by S minus SS get cancelled, remaining with minus R2, and then R2 and R2 get cancelled, R2 by S only. So therefore R2 by S can be split into like this, R2 plus R2 1 minus S by S. The value does not changes. That's why here R2 by S in this circuit diagram, R2 by S is split into two components. One is R2 and then R2 into 1 minus S by S. Because here when the slip is changing, that load resistance, that value of load resistance is always changing phenomena, depend upon the value of slip, because slip is the phenomena is always changing with respect to the stator speed and then rotor speed. Okay, so now next we shall analyze this one equivalent circuit. You can bring the rotor side components. This is stator side component, input voltage V1 R1 X1 and then I0 current R0 X0, and you can bring the rotor side components to the stator side by multiplication transformation by dividing the transformation ratio. X2 dash is nothing but x2 by k square, and then R2 dash is nothing but R2 by k square, and this also you can bring to the stator side, that is R2 dash 1 minus S by S. So equivalent circuit, this represent equivalent circuit refer to the stator side. Now you bring the rotor side component to the stator side. So therefore, if you bring the rotor side component to the stator side, and then analysis become very easy. That's why we are bring the rotor side component to the stator side. So now we can replace this component to this side. So therefore, then it becomes this one. When you bring it I1, this is the R1 X1, and then rotor side reactances X2 dash, and then R2 dash are the same thing. This one R2 dash 1 minus S by S. So now resistances, these two we can combine it. You get R1E. R1E is nothing but R1 plus R2 dash. X1E is nothing but, in this circuit diagram, X1 plus X2 dash. And then here the input current voltage is V1, and then I1 is the stator current, and I0 is the no load current. I2 dash 2R is nothing but rotor side current. R1E is nothing but R1 plus R2 dash. X1E is nothing but X1 plus X2 dash. So therefore, you get a approximate equivalent. This is the approximate equivalent circuit of three-phase induction motor. Is same as the transformer. Same as the transformer. From this equivalent circuit, many advantages is there. So that we shall see the equation through equations. So now here from this circuit diagram, if you analyze it, then all the power equation from equivalent circuit diagram you can be obtained. So power equations, if you analyze it, input power is nothing but what? Input power is nothing but here V1 I1 cos phi 1. Input power is nothing but what? V1 I1 into cos phi 1. You get input power. And stator copper losses, how to obtain? Stator copper losses depends on the I1 whole square into R1 into 3 phase. That's why I'm considering 3 into I1 whole square into R1. Okay, and that is the stator copper loss. Rotor input is nothing but power in the rotor. Power in the rotor, how to find out? I2 dash whole square, I2 dash current, I2 dash whole square into R2 dash. Since it is a 3 phase, I will multiply it by 3 divided by S. If you do it, then you get rotor input. So therefore, if you refer to the equivalent circuit diagram, you can obtain the power equation from equivalent circuit. Input is nothing but, I already told you, V1 I1 into cos phi into 3 phase. V1 is the stator input voltage, I1 is the stator current, cos phi is the power factor, the angle between voltage and current. Stator copper loss is nothing but stator current I1 whole square into R1. Since it is a 3 phase, 3 you have to multiply. Rotor input is nothing but rotor side power. You have to visualize I2 dash R whole square into R2 dash into 3 phase divided by S. If you do it, then you get a rotor input. How much you are giving the rotor input? Rotor copper loss is nothing but current whole square I square R into 3 phase. Since it is a 3 phase, you have to multiply it by 3. And then from this equation, copper loss in the rotor, you can visualize S into P2. And then mechanical power is nothing but developed is nothing but rotor input minus rotor copper loss. If you subtract it, then you get a mechanical power developed in the rotor can be obtained from rotor input minus rotor copper loss. And then if you rearrange that equation, you get this equation, that is 3 into I2 dash whole square into R2 dash 1 minus S by S. We know that fundamentally power is nothing but omega into T. T is nothing but what? P by omega. P is nothing but what? Mechanical power developed. mechanical power developed is substitute. Omega is nothing but 2 pi n by 60. N is nothing but rotor speed. From this equation, you can easily find out the torque developed, how much inside the induction motor. You know that rotor speed, where n is the rotor, where n is the rotor speed, n is nothing but, that is, rotor speed is nothing but ns into 1 minus s. If you substitute n is equal to ns into 1 minus s, and if you rearrange this equation, then you get a torque developed in terms of synchronous speed. Also you can obtain the torque equation. So this is the of in terms of synchronous speed. Also you can obtain the torque inside the induction motor, that is 9.5 that all the factor get cancelled and get a one constant, 9.55 into 3 into I2 dash I dash 2R whole square, that is rotor current, and then R2 dash by S, whereas the slip. Ns is the synchronous speed that you can obtain by ns is equal to 120 f by p. By substituting this equation, how much torque developed inside the motor can be obtained in terms of synchronous speed. Okay, and then here rotor current is how to find out means voltage divided by impedance. Voltage is V1, impedance is R1E plus RL dash, 2 resist R1E plus RL dash plus reactances J into X1E. Okay, and then RL dash is nothing but already know it, R2 dash 1 minus S by S. As the slip is changing means load resistance also changing, that in terms control of the parameters. So therefore rotor current I2 dash R is nothing but voltage divided by impedances. Voltage by impedance means R1E plus RL dash whole square plus X1E all square. So therefore, so what we can evidence that from this concept, this from the equivalent circuit, you can obtain the, from the equivalent circuit, you can obtain the power relation. You can obtain from the equivalent circuit, uh, induction motor, equivalent circuit diagram is similar to the transformer equivalent circuit diagram. From the equivalent circuit diagram, we can get the power relations can be obtained. Power relations can be obtained. From the power relation, if you know the power relations, you can easily obtain the various parameters you can be obtained. That is the benefit of this equivalent circuit diagram. From the equivalent circuit diagram, what are the factors we can obtain? We shall analyze now. So now from the equivalent circuit diagram, so you can find out stator current, you can find out stator power factor can find out, starting torque can be obtained, maximum torque can be obtained. If you differentiate the torque equation, with respect to S, differentiate it, if you rearrange it, then you get a torque maximum can be obtained. And then power input, starting torque can be obtained, maximum torque can be obtained, and then input power you can obtain, and then stator copper loss can be, you can visualize, and then rotor copper loss you can visualize, rotor input can be visualized through the equation, rotor copper loss can be obtained, and then mechanical power can be obtained, and then no, rotor current can be obtained, and the efficiency output can be obtained, and also you can obtain the efficiency of the induction motor. So therefore, what is the advantages of this? To obtain the approximate equivalent circuit of three-phase induction motor means you can obtain the various parameters that will helpful to obtain the efficiency of the induction motor, and you can visualize what are the losses occurring in the stator copper loss. You can visualize rotor copper loss, you can visualize mechanical power developed in the rotor can be obtained, output power can be obtained, and stator current you can obtain, starting torque can be obtained, maximum torque can be obtained, and the efficiency of the machine can be obtained. So therefore, from the equivalent circuit diagram, you can obtain various parameter that will helpful to determine the efficiency of the induction motor. So that is the benefit of this equivalent circuit diagram.